everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So, I thought I'd sit down and do some reacting to Foodie Beauty, but not to her 6 hour live stream, which she just completed. No, no, no. We're going to save that for later. I'm sure that's going to be a long react. And we're going to cut it down by a lot because I am not reacting to her for 6 hours if I don't have to. I'd rather cut it down by a lot, just get the important stuff and get out of there. So, this react is going to be all about the Twitter peeps, and there are quite a few. Some of them have to do with foodie, some of them don't. So, let's do a quick recap of the things that are on the Twitter peeps. So let's talk about Foodie. Is Foodie still grifting? Yes, she is. As a matter of fact, recently she put up a community post saying that she wanted to go to a nice French restaurant, one that did a dish called steak frites, and she was asking $60 for the meal. Uh, does the meal cost $60? No, no, it doesn't. I think the meal itself was maybe 20 something dollars, maybe less than that. And she was asking additional money for a drink, maybe even dessert, maybe some extra for herself. So she did that. She had the audacity to get online and say, "Hey, Beezers, if you want to sponsor me eating a really nice meal at a nice French restaurant, you can send $60 to my PayPal." And then in additional news, not Chantal. So just found out today that Amberlyn Reed had one of her videos removed by YouTube. Do I think it was YouTube giving her a warning? Yeah, I think it was them giving her a big warning about her content because she's really been toeing the line these days and YouTube has taken notice. Although it's weird, YouTube, you got some funny lines over there. You got a problem with Amberlyn Reed's content, but you won't do anything to Foodie. Why is that? So, want to go over all the Twitter peeps with y'all, show you all the things that I see on Twitter. I know that some of you do not have Twitter, you don't want to be there. Perfectly understandable. And that's why I do the Twitter peeps, so that everybody can keep up with all the things going on YouTube and Twitter. And you don't have to necessarily be there. I'll be there for you. So, you guys know what time it is. It is time for the Twitter peeps. All right, it's time for the Twitter peeps. I got everything all pulled up and ready to go. So, for those of you that are on Twitter that you'd like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. Let's start here with a post from Ada Mame. I hope I'm saying that right. This is in reference to Chantal saying, so she's broke because she has to pay 3 seats to Canada. I don't think he's going, though. She can't be a sponsor, but who knows? Yeah, it's one of those things of we'll just wait and find out. We'll just wait to see how things play out. We just have to be patient, YouTube. Chantal is a person that she doesn't like to let anything out of the bag unless she absolutely has to. So things have been kind of weird with Foodie lately. Like there's a heavy emphasis on making lots and lots of money. Lots and lots of money. She's got her cameos. She does her private feeding request. She's having people doing the fan sponsorships for meals. She's got her YouTube income. She's got different roads of income faced in her direction. I don't know how profitable they are, but it seems like she's always looking for more. So the big question is why? What is going on that she needs all kinds of money? What is the situation? Well, we know that she's not going to tell us. Chantal's not one to say what the truth is. It's one of those things that we just have to find out when we find out. But as far as her having to pay for 3 seats on a plane to go home to Canada, yeah, I think that might be a possibility. She's gaining more and more weight. And she did have to pay for 2 seats. If she doesn't watch it, she will have to pay for 3. And I don't think Salah's going to be in the 3rd seat. Valgal says, it really does seem like she's close to calling it quits, huh? Saying things she usually wouldn't dare. I hate the heat, hate the hijab, hate the traffic. Saying she may not be the one for Salah. If he leaves, oh well. annoyed by places being only men, and Canada reminiscing. You know, as much as I'd like to read into that, Val Gal, at the same time, I'm not going to. And I can tell you why. Because Chantal knows that a lot of people in girl world, they want to see her back in Canada. They want to see her back there to see if she will become what she was once before. And more than likely, she will become that person again, if only because it means she would make good money. She knows it too, that if she went home to Canada and she ripped off the hijab and the abaya and she became the full feral foodie that we all know and love, she would make good money. She could sit down in front of a camera, be her authentic self, and talk trash and get more views doing that than she has in a while. So she teases us. She's teasing YouTube. She's teasing Girl World. This reminiscing talk about Canada. Does she really mean it? Or is she just saying it to keep people on the hook, to keep watching her so they won't stop watching her? Because a lot of people are getting fed up with her content. It's getting boring. And as I mentioned before, honestly, guys, it's not a YouTube channel anymore. It's a fetish channel. She's turned her channel into an adult fetish channel. And she's looking for other ways to cater to adult fetishes. As a matter of fact, recently, didn't she talk about shoving some chocolate cake in her face? And didn't she also talk about having somebody put a pie in her face? I know this may seem unusual, but there is a fetish for that, and it's called splooshing. That's the name of the fetish, splooshing. If you want to, you can look it up. I looked it up. My ears perked up when she mentioned the pie in the face, and I wondered, is that part of the feedie fetish? It is. So I think Foodie does research all the time about what subfolders there are to the main feedie folder, and how could she cater to all those little side groups as well as the main group. So isn't it strange, like all this time she's eating her food, now she's talking about shoving the cake in her face and having a pie put in her face? Is it because you've done your homework, Foodie? Is it because one of your feedies suggested it to you and so they pay you for it? I wonder. I wonder. All right, something funny from Nature is Amazing. The look of betrayal in his eyes. So, let's go back. No, no, we're not doing the music. We got two frogs here. Two frogs, one bug. Two frogs, one bug. Who's going to win? Let's see. Nope. That green frog is like, how dare you? You couldn't bite it in half? You couldn't share it with me? You know, I'm sitting right here. You know, I'm hungry too. Why'd you have to go and do that for? Like, the look of betrayal is real, but I'll tell you what, that other frog is going to learn today. Yep, F around, find out. That green frog taught the other frog a lesson. Like, you don't just snatch food up like that. Who do you think you are? You need to bite it and give half of it to me. I'm going to let you know who the boss is. All right. So here's a clip from the live stream she just did, courtesy of Perfectly Imperfect, saying Salah ordered Foodie Beauty Wendy's as a surprise, but you can see from her reaction she's not very happy with it. It's too small. So I got a question for you, Salah. What lane are you driving in today, sir? Sometimes you're in the healthy lane. You're urging her to get healthy. You're talking about health. You're urging her to get on the treadmill. You're urging her to eat healthy. And then you swerve over to the other lane, the unhealthy lane where all the fast food is, and you're bringing home the fast food. What's up with that? Do you want her to get healthy or don't you? Do you care? I don't think you care, because if you cared, you wouldn't be doing this. You really wouldn't be doing this. But let's see what Foodie's reaction to the food was.
You got me. Wendy's. I'm back. I'm back. Nuggets, 2 of them. Came with 4, but I gave him 2.
No, you didn't. You got hungry and you ate 2 before you sat down to eat it. So don't lie.
Hello?
They don't just give you 2 nuggets. You took 2 of them. You hungry old thing.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, now I found that interaction to be weird, because if you have a wife or a husband or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a love interest and you're around them long enough, wouldn't you know what they like to eat before you buy it? Wouldn't you ask your spouse or your love interest, hey, I'm in such and such place. What do you want me to order? Most people do. They're like, I'm in such and such location. I want to buy you a meal. What do you feel like eating? Anybody's ever been in a relationship, you're thinking about eating something with your spouse or your love interest. What's the first question you ask? Well, what do you feel like eating? What do you want to eat? You look to see what they're in the mood for. You don't want to take them somewhere and they're not going to eat the food, or they're going to make the ugly face. No, you ask your significant other, what do you want to eat? So, how is it after being around Foodie for 3 years, he still doesn't know her food preferences? And she's bringing home stuff and saying, what is this?
Oh, cheese fries.
Out of everything in that meal, and she gets excited over the cheese fries. Of course she does. Because nothing says I love you like a big bowl of carbs and fat when you're over 500 pounds.
What's this? A little cheeseburger. That's good.
And here's the scary thing, that meal is just a snack. That's not enough food to fill her up. That is just a snack to tide her over in the meantime. She'll order again later.
Wendy, I know.
Okay, moving on to do poo. I can't. What is this word? Do poo. Do blah, 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 blah. Do boo poo. Did I get it right? Says, you know for a fact that she saw this food somewhere and thought, wow, I know exactly how I can get to eat this. She treats her fans like waiters. So here's the community post I was talking about earlier. She says, hi, not to grift or anything, lol, but you know, when you start out a community post with that sentence, not to grift or anything but, then you know you're grifting and you're being shameless about it. And you're going to do it anyway. You're not even starting off the post saying, I don't know if you guys are okay with this, or I don't know if this is inappropriate, but no, you started off with, hi, not to grift or anything, but you're going to grift. Anyway, she says, hi, not to grift or anything, but if anyone is wanting to sponsor a live stream or video meal, I would really love to bring you guys to a famous French restaurant here in Kuwait that serves only one thing, steak frites. The entire meal with a drink will cost around 60 Canadian dollars over our frugal budget for the full service. In exchange, if you sponsor this meal, you can decide if you want it in a vlog or a live stream. Sponsor video funds can be sent to PayPal. There is so much wrong with this community post. There's so much wrong. Let's start with the obvious wrong. So I reacted to her live stream where she said outright to everyone, she and Salah are not hurting for money. They've got enough money to pay the rent. They've got enough money to pay the bills. They've got enough money for groceries. They're not really hurting for money. As in, isn't he supposed to be some successful businessman? He's so successful that all he has to do is run around, collect money from people. So, as a man who is so successful, Salah, how can you allow your wife, your on camera wife, to come on camera and beg money from people as if she's starving when she's not? She's 550 pounds. She's not starving. She could stand to lose a few meals. It wouldn't hurt her, I promise. But $60 for a nice meal at a French restaurant. At the same time, right now, this minute, I'm sure there are people in the world. They're having a hard time making their rent. They're having a tough time making all their bills. There might be parents out there that are going without food just so their kids could eat. There's a lot of people right now that have food insecurity. You go to the grocery store, 60 bucks won't buy you much. Not at all. Anybody's on grocery shopping will tell you that. The cost of everything is going up and there's just not enough money to go around. Too much month at the end of the money. And she's fine. She said she's fine. And she must be fine if she's not coming on here asking for grocery money. She's got money for food. She just wants extra food and she wants other people to pay for it. Beezers, you already pay for Foodie's entire life. And on top of that, you're paying for Salah's entire life. You're paying for two people already. What more do you need to pay for? You're paying for all of her expenses, all of his expenses. You are funding her food addiction. Yes, you are. Enablers. You're funding her bad health. You're funding her to be sick. And here she is saying, I want to go to a French restaurant and have a nice meal. And I expect somebody else to pay for it. I want someone else to foot the bill. Did it ever occur to anyone over there that not only does Foodie want your money to pay for this meal, which doesn't cost $60, it is not $60 for that meal. She wants you to pay for a nice dinner. So she gets free food, nice food, expensive food. And on top of that, she wants to turn around and turn that paid for meal into content for her channel that she will then make money off of. She's double dipping. I want you to give me a free meal and give me content for my channel that I could make a lot of money off of. So she wants you to spend your money so that she can make money. Chantal has arrived at that place where she is so lazy and so greedy and so in need of a group of suckers to pay for things. She doesn't want to pay for anything in her life. She's looking for everybody to pay all of her expenses. There's not a single thing connected to her that she is paying out of pocket herself. She's looking at all of you, they're beezers, and saying, pay for my entire life just because I'm Foodie Beauty. Well, as much as I hate to say it, there are people stupid enough that would actually do it. I mean, they've been doing it. She's just pushing the boundaries to see how stupid and gullible people really are. So that is the community post. Smeardrop says, dang. So here's Salah with his comment saying, how about you walking now and forget the food? You said that, Salah, and then you brought her home Wendy's. So again, stop swerving all over the road. Pick a lane and stay in it. Do you want her to get healthy or don't you? But you can't make up your mind. One minute you want her to get on the treadmill, the next minute you're bringing home Wendy's. I mean, pick one and stick with it. All right, here's something interesting from Kelly saying Foodie Beauty's stove broke, but she said that they don't want to buy a new one, so she'll be ordering out. Something is up. Maybe they're going to Canada soon. She's even more swollen today. So that's the story that she's rolling with, that the stove is broke. How exactly do you break a stove? How does that happen? With someone that barely cooks? She's not someone that she gets in the kitchen a lot. So, how do you go from barely using your stove to breaking it entirely? I don't think she broke the stove. I think she's just using that as an excuse just to get more fast food. Enigma 2025 said it could be another lie so she doesn't have to order groceries and cook at home. This gives her the excuse to continue eating out. But I wouldn't doubt, though, if it's broken because they destroyed the rest of the place and door handle. She doesn't respect anything. You know, I don't know when Foodie's leaving Kuwait, but I'm wondering when she finally does get out of that apartment, how much in that apartment is broken and will need to be repaired. And if there's anything broken and needs to be repaired, who's going to foot the bill? I don't think it'll be her. She'll be back in Canada and she'll say, not my problem now. Peopleville says Foodie Beauty, quote, they just beg for food no matter how much they just ate. You, biatch, that is literally you. You beg for food, donations, and sponsors while you are eating. And after you ate, you yourself just asked for a cheeseburger, GTFO. So again, there's another clip from the live, and I guess she's trying to feed the cats. So let's listen.
They just beg for food no matter how much they just ate. Look at them. They ate all the food from the other guy, and now they're asking for more.
You know, Chantal, they are street cats. They are feral. And they may be doing it for survival because they're not used to eating. They're not used to regular meals. That if they see someone that's got a lot of food, they're going to scarf it down as much as they can because they don't know when their next meal is going to be. Unlike you, that you eat all the time, but criticizing a street cat who might be starving most of the time and you being extremely overfed. I'm just over here shaking my head. Enigma 2025 says most new temporary resident visa applications for spousal sponsorship applicants will be processed within 30 days. And here's another clip from Kristen saying, listen up, Salah. Let's watch.
I want to go to the east coast of Canada again. I miss it.
Again, I'm not going to read too much into this because she's done this before. And she'll do a live stream and she knows how much people want her to go back to Canada and see her go full feral. So she teases people. She's edging people. Oh, I might be going back. I'm thinking of going back. I really miss home, but then she doesn't go back. Just keeping people waiting to see if it'll actually happen. If you keep people waiting too long, Chantal, when you finally do go back, nobody's going to care. No one's going to be watching you either.
I really had a good time in the east coast. Babe, I need to take you.
But she won't.
Actually, apparently, like, unrelated. I'm not saying we're planning on going to Canada anytime soon, but I saw on the news that they've cracked down even more on immigration to Canada. So immigration times have gone up. So, but this is the thing. I think they it's different if you're sponsoring a family member than just applying for permanent residency, whatever, to come here to study or work or whatever.
So is she telling Salah, look, I can't get you to Canada. The laws have changed. The regulations have changed. Maybe the way we were planning on doing it, it's not going to work because we are not family. Is she telling him without telling him, sorry, I can't help you?
I think it's up to like 29 months now if you want to sponsor somebody who's in Canada already or something like that. It's crazy. They're only allowing, I think, up to 400K immigrants a year.
The thing is, even if she wanted to sponsor Salah, isn't one of the requirements, if you're sponsoring somebody, don't you need to show that you have a home that the both of you can live in, that you are living in? She doesn't have a home in Canada. So how in the world is she going to sponsor him? She can even show, yes, I have a home. I pay the rent. I've been paid the rent. She can't show that to the immigration people. Okay, here's some information courtesy of Narky, saying, I feel like there's a lot of confusion on what type of marriage Chantal has. When she first arrived in Kuwait, I believe she and Salah went to the courthouse and attempted to get a civil marriage. Because of her visa status, they did not qualify. That is why she took the Shahada and became Muslim in somewhat of a hurry. That qualified her for a religious marriage ceremony called a nikah. A nikah nama, the resulting religious marriage contract, is considered a legal marriage document in Islamic State countries only. When she and Salah went back to the courthouse to have the contract wasta certified to be clear, this is legal for Kuwait purposes only. All that did was approve bypassing having a father or male family member sign the contract. Chantal mentioned being asked why. Her father was not there to sign. This is a major issue for a religious marriage. In order for that contract to be validated and certified as legal for Kuwait purposes, they had to do wasta. This does not mean that she had a civil marriage in court. And that most likely is why she refuses to show the contract, because the type of marriage that they have, this document, does not qualify for the proper apostille stamps and will not work internationally for immigration purposes. It just allows them to live together in Kuwait. So that's a lot of information. That's a lot, but very interesting. Thank you, Narky. Not Your Mother says, isn't it the landlord's responsibility to replace or repair the stove? That if he are living there illegally, it's just another poor me beg for money. Yeah, nobody's going to buy them a new stove. And honestly, I don't think the stove is broken. I think Chantal got her fifis hurt when everybody was criticizing how her mafe looked when she made it, the dish, how crappy it looked. People were just tearing it apart on Twitter because it looked like slop, and mafe does not look like slop. So she decided, you know what? I'm not going to cook anymore. I'm just going to order out. Narky says, new theory based on 1472 Kelly's comment. What if they are begging for money because they are being kicked out of the seaside villa? Considering how horrible they are to their neighbors, I could see it, especially not repairing a broken stove out of pure spite. That might be a possibility. I mean, they're up at late hours. He's playing his keyboard. She's talking really loud. That would bother other tenants. They might complain, and they might have to get out and go someplace else. Nature is amazing, said butterflies having their lunch. Check this out. So these lovely butterflies are feasting on the fruit. So sweet. Enos says, this bothered me. She has to sit down here. However, when they go out to see the camels, she walks just fine for a while without sitting. She is playing this up in one way or another. Yeah, I've noticed that too many times, where she'll claim, I can't move, my leg hurts. Sometimes she will drag her foot. But then other times, her leg seems just fine. So how did that happen? How is it that sometimes she'll sit there and she'll act injured and drag her foot and drag her leg and, oh, I can't walk on the treadmill. But when it came time to go see the camels, she was walking all over that desert. I remember that live stream she did not too long ago, y'all, where she went to the beach by herself and she was walking on the sand just fine. So how is it that she goes from dragging her leg to walking fine, unless she's faking it for somebody for some reason. Sandy Quesadilla says, rule number 5, if she says prove it, it means it's true. Perfectly Imperfect says, finally, Foodie Beauty admits her marriage is fake by saying prove it or it's cap. How the tables have turned. Let's watch.
Come on now, prove it. Prove it. Prove it or it's cap. I don't know how people don't demand proof of this. You know, come on, proof. We need proof. Solid evidence.
You know what, Chantal? We do not have to see that legal document and have it translated to know that the marriage is fake. It's all over the two of you. The way you two behave around each other. There's no couple energy. There's no love. There's no connection. When you see two people together, you can feel that bond between them, how much they adore one another. You guys don't have that. The two of you are just awkward together, and he is so ashamed of you. He does not want to be out in public with you if he can help it. So either the marriage is fake or it's the most unhappy, awkward marriage I have ever seen. Which is it? Is it fake? Is it for YouTube? Or is it a real marriage that two people are married that really shouldn't be married? Either option is bad. There's no winner here. Sandy Quesadilla says, okay, how long till we get someone in Chantal's chat named Foodie Struggling Safety Pin? Not the struggling safety pin. Acadia Strong says she's filthy and she needs a safety pin to close her abaya. She's busting at the seams. Have another. Yeah, this is from the live stream. Here's a safety pin right here. And let's not even begin to talk about how filthy this thing is. There's stains all over her abaya. It looks very unwashed. A safety pin is holding on for its life. Blink once if you need help, safety pin. We're here for you. Girl World cares. Safety pins' lives matter. Perfectly Imperfect says Foodie Beauty's talking about immigration changes in Canada, but lying to Salah and saying it doesn't affect family moments. It does, in fact, affect family members. See attached screenshot. Let's look at the screenshot. Canada is cracking down on immigrants coming into country. Does this include family members who are immigrants? Yes. Recent changes to Canada's immigration policies do affect family sponsorship programs, including those for spouses, children, parents, and grandparents. National level changes. In 2025, the Canadian government reduced its overall immigration targets, impacting family reunification programs. Spouses, partners, and children. The target number of landings decreased from 82,000 in 2024 to 70,000 in 2025. Parents and grandparents. The target reduced from 32,000 to 24,500. So, look, I don't know what she's telling him over there, if she can get him on through, but it looks like she can't. Oh, this is an awesome clip from the Vegan saying, this is awesome. Imagine being a wildlife photographer and you've got these cubs that just want to play with you. Kitties are going to kitty. Kitties are definitely going to kitty. Nature is Amazing said this scuba diver creatively defending himself against a rogue sea turtle. So this sea turtle it was in a mood. It didn't have a cup of coffee this morning. For some reason, it's like, I'm going to get this diver. Diver says, no, you're not. But this turtle for some reason, it just did not like the diver. Diver's like, move along. Nothing to see here. Stop coming after me. I got a job to do. Boot and Vegan says, don't drink my house. So this baby turtle's like, you're drinking my house. Stop drinking my house. And that cat would have been in a world of hurt if the turtle had gotten its tongue. The cat got your tongue? No, a turtle did. Imagine the cat having to go to the hospital with a turtle attached to its tongue. Like, how do you explain that to the nurse? Sandy Quesadilla says 350 pounds though, guys. Perfectly Imperfect says when the filters stop filtering and reality hits you like a literal ton of bricks. So I did see kind of a filter fail in the beginning. Let's see if I can catch it.
Oh my gosh, I feel so fat right now. Sometimes I feel skinny, but right now I feel fat. Oh, I can't wear this hijab. Look at me. Nothing looks good on me. I look like an egg.
You move like a watermelon, a drunk one. So yeah, those filters don't even know what to do with Chantal these days. They're like, you're asking far too much of us and we can't handle the workload. We're out. Perfectly Imperfect says Foodie Beauty broke her stove so she doesn't have to cook and can order out. Look at the darting eyes and tell me I'm wrong. So before we play the clip, I just want to point something out. We're seeing her food in front of her. Obviously, she's a very well-fed woman. I don't see a struggle meal here. Do you? So if she's able to buy a meal that looks like this, then surely she should have the money to go out to a nice French restaurant, especially if she's got a husband that's making so much money. I mean, no signs of a struggle meal, so she doesn't need anybody's money, but let's watch.
Now, my stove broke. Well, my stove didn't break, my oven, but we can't use it because it shorts out the electricity. Because there's one burner that's all wonky. So,
okay, question. If I were a tenant in a building, if I am a paying tenant, and there was a situation in my apartment where I'm trying to use my stove and the electric is getting shorted out, you know what I'd be doing? Hello, Mr. Landlord. Hi, may I speak with you a minute, sir? Yes, sir. I don't know what's going on, sir, but there seems to be a short in the electric. Yes, sir. Is there any way we can get this fixed as soon as possible? Because I need to cook. Also, I don't want any chance of an electrical fire if something shorts out and then, So can we get that fixed? That's what I'd be doing. Getting on the phone with the landlord and saying, can we get this fixed? I wouldn't just leave it alone and then just start ordering takeout. I would take care of the problem. Hey, the outlet is out or something's wrong with it. Can we get this fixed right now? Can you send somebody over to fix it? So why can't she do that?
some basic bad news about that is now I have to cook with a microwave or a rice cooker. So
I think she just doesn't want to spend money on groceries to do her cooking videos. And she doesn't like to cook anyway. I mean, when the stove broke and the idea ran through her head, oh, it's broke. I can eat takeout, endless takeout now. She was probably like jumping up and down for joy.
hey, beauty warrior.
She probably thought to herself, if I break the stove, then Salah can't come at me anymore and say, you need to cook more. And she knew that she would be able to get her way with getting more fast food.
How convenient. Make salads. Kiss my ass. Now,
Yep, she probably broke it on purpose, even if it is broke. And here's one of the comments. Blue Lace Design says, I hope someone sponsors you. I'm dirt poor, so I can only afford free, Foodie. If Foodie had even a sliver of a heart, that comment right there should have made her stop and think. I'm over here. I'm a 550-pound woman. I am a food addict. I am not only fed, I'm overfed. I'm acting like an overfed tick. And I just won't stop eating. And here's someone, one of my beezers, and they're telling me that they're dirt poor. They're maybe going through the struggle. And those are people in your audience, Foodie. Ordinary people that have ordinary jobs and ordinary salaries, and they're just trying to make it, and you're over there asking for their money when you have more than enough, much more than enough. You should be ashamed of yourself. All right, so there was a moment in the last live that I didn't cover. Very alarming. So she got some ice cream and she picked up a piece of dry ice, which normally hurts you. It burns your skin. Nero Spicy Life says, how the F did it take that long for her to feel it? That crap will cause tissue damage the same way as a heat burn. It's like pressing your finger to a stove element and taking that long to react to it. Orange Cat says, natural selection took its best shot. So there she is picking up a piece of dry ice, and she didn't drop it right away.
Is it dry ice? Oh, yeah, it is. Why is it dry? Can you eat it? Ow! Dry.
That makes me wonder, Foodie, do you have nerve damage in your hands? Is that why you didn't feel it right away? Very alarming. All right, moving on. Amanda Beth says, I just showed the chef at work, who is French, the picture of the steak frites that Chantal wants to pay $60 for. She threw a spoon at me and told me to F off and to get out of her kitchen with that abomination. That's funny. That is funny. Meandering Thought says, so we all know that Salah is a romance scammer. Lately, obviously trying to get as much money out of Foodie before she passes away or before he sends her home. Wonder if all the people sponsoring her, send super chats, cameos, etc., realize that they are being romance scammed by proxy as well. Well, they're paying for her, they're paying for him. I mean, he's living off of her means. He's not working. If he were working, how could he stay in her 12-hour lives the entire time? He's not there for part of the time, and then he's got to go to work. He was there for the entire thing. He's around way too much to be a professional working man. What else we got here? Oh, this has to do with Amber. Remember what I told you guys earlier about Amber? Perfectly Imperfect said Foodie Beauty should be panicking. Shenanigans says Amber Lynn's latest video was taken down by YouTube, care of Hecticana on YouTube. So Hecticana said, this is Amber's latest video. I was in the middle of reacting to Amber Lynn's latest video and suddenly cut off and gave me this. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. So I'm hoping someone captured it before it got removed. But I have to say, I'm glad she is also being held accountable for her content. This makes me feel better about my interview video. By the way, the edited version got age restricted too, so I said screw it and reinstated the original. YouTube works in mysterious and frustrating ways. Anybody who might be a content creator, can I just share some knowledge from experience with you about YouTube monetization? YouTube monetization, they don't just look for profanity in your video or anything that might violate YouTube terms of service, but it even goes so far as if you put a certain title with your video or something on your thumbnail. So you can't just consider your video content. You got to look at the thumbnail and the title. And sometimes just changing the title can make the difference. I've had it happen more than once where I did a video, I got the dreaded yellow dollar sign, and I changed a couple of words, and then it went through and turned green. So just something to be known. Yep, the video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. So YouTube is very twitchy when it comes to words, when it comes to profanity. You never know what flags are going to come up and why. Malarkey Meter says YouTube removed Amberlyn Reed's video from today for violating community guidelines called This is the Scary and Alarming Truth. What I Ate Today, Episode 6. Several channels have reviewed it, or if you want a full copy to review, Here it is for the archives. Well, I'm just going to have to see what all the big fuss is about. I'll look at it later. Maisie Rose said, we are saving money, but you can go broke buying meals for me that I don't need. That's pretty much how she feels about her beezers. They're saving their money, but those of you that are beezers, you're not allowed to save your money. You're supposed to give it to Foodie. And who cares about your rent? Who cares about your bills and your kids? It doesn't matter. All right, y'all lean in and look at this from Peach Slicks saying, why does she need $60? I know she said, and a drink, but a drink does cost $17, $18. Grifter is going to grift. Here's the AI overview. In Kuwait, a steak frites dish typically costs between 500 KD and 500 KD, depending on the restaurant and the specific offering. For example, Les Relais, I can't say that word, offers a steak le frites for 500 KD. Mentions that at this restaurant, one of their options is steak frites for 9,500 KD, which includes 2 servings of steak and 2 of fries. What, is she getting like 2 servings all at once? Kind of sounds like it. She wants 2 servings, not 1. How much is that though? What is the breakdown for Canadian and Kuwaiti dinar? Let me look. Okay. Kuwait dinar to Canadian. Is it really $60? Let me look. I'm looking for us, YouTube. I'm nosy. 500. All right. All right. So on the low side, let me show y'all, just so we're clear, so nobody thinks I'm lying. I just want to see the conversion. All right. So 1 Kuwaiti dinar equals 4.50 Canadian dollars. So, since Chantal gets paid in Canadian dollars, if the menu says 5.500 Kuwaiti dinar, what that equals for her is $24.76. All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so what is 9.5? What is that? All right, so 9.500 is $42.77. Okay, that's entirely too much to pay for steak and fries when you can make it at home for yourself, doesn't it? I mean, you can buy steak at the grocery store and cook it at home in an air fryer. Same thing with the fries. You can have your steak and fries for a lot less. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's go back to Twitter, though. All right. So, moving on. What else we got here? Acadia Strong says, so she wants people to pay for her to eat at this restaurant. Pay for it yourself since your man is so well off with his perfume emporium. Right. You want to go to a nice French restaurant, Chantal? Pay for it yourself or have your husband pay for it. Why is it the responsibility of the Beezers? They're not even eating the food. Kristen says, hi, not to grift or anything, proceeds to grift. Let's see. D. Angry Scott says, shameless. Why won't your successful businessman husband buy you a steak dinner? What about all those merch sales you claim to get? What about being top of the charts on Cameo? What about all those recent super chats? Why are you so desperate for money right now? Questions for the ages. Like, why is she like working so hard to get everybody's money? What's the point in that? Julie says, and the whole point of sponsorships was for the person to choose what she does, eats. Now she's just asking to pay for what she wants. So pathetic. While still buying takeout. Are you kidding me? Embarrassing. Yeah, wasn't the whole point of the sponsorships of if you pay for the meal, you get to show you choose what I eat? I'm eating a meal of your choosing since you're paying for it. Yeah, I remember like that. That was the thing. That was the deal. If you pay for the meal, I'll eat the meal. Now she's straight up telling people that's not good enough. I want to choose and I'll tell you what I want to eat. Florida Salt and Sass says, Chins, you are a grifter. Not a grift or anything, but okay, then why are you claiming you need way more than what it costs for that meal? And credit to the farms. This person on the farm says, why does she need $60? I checked on Talabat for delivery. Normally delivery is more expensive, and it's just about $25 for the meal she posted. Part of me also wonders if she's asking for extra and is trying to save up for the rest for her next freezer run. Well, Chantal will skim money off the top any way she could think of, so that wouldn't surprise me if she did. Let's see. And here's my post about the splooshing. Foodie Beauty, I want a pie smashed in my face. Me, biatch, I see you. Splooshing is a feedie fetish. Stop signaling the feedies to pay you for crap and go to OnlyHands with that crap. It's not for YouTube. No, it's not. I'm your Huckleberry. Says no way she isn't doing that stuff secretly. Either she's already getting paid for it or she's sending out signals that she'll take requests for smashing, splooshing for the right price. And I'm going to get some information about that. Hold on. I just noticed that my StreamYard is acting funny again. Where's my background? Thank you. One moment. Okay, so I just wanted to look up the definition for splooshing. And I know you guys did not sign on for this. This is YouTube. This is not an adult fetish forum. Although Chantal likes to treat it like an adult fetish forum. And she tries to sneak things past people. But I'm not one to let her get away with sneaking things past people again. And I'm letting you guys know because you deserve to know and you need to know so that when you watch Chantal's content, you know what's going on here. That she can't just be shisty and sneak stuff past y'all. So for those who are wondering, what is the splooshing fetish that she's thinking about doing now or she might start doing on YouTube? So here is the definition. Wet and messy fetishism, wham, also known as splooshing, is a form of sexual fetishism consisting of a person or persons getting messy with a variety of materials, such as food, mud, chemicals, and water. The word splooshing originates from a defunct UK fetish magazine called Sploosh or Splosh. Let's see. Many people with wham fetishes are drawn to the tactile sensations of wet or messy substances against their skin. Other individuals simply prefer the visual appeal of others getting wet or messy with products that have different textures, consistencies, and colors. A subject will often be pelted with cream pies, sometimes using shaving foam rather than real cream pie filling, have slime dumped on them, or sit on cakes. Hello, Veronica. Another common theme is the pouring of substances inside clothing while it is being worn. Clothing chosen for this can vary from swimsuits or underwear to full outfits. Normal street clothes, either casual or office wear, are commonly featured in wham productions, but many other types of outfits, such from wedding attire to industrial overalls or more specialist fetish wear, such as PVC, latex, or leather items may be used. While items are particularly popular with some fans of this fetish. There's a wide variety of messy substances associated with wham. Popular food items include cakes, pies, whipped cream, raw eggs, milk, pudding, syrups, honey, custard, baked beans, pasta, soups, treacle, condiments, ice cream, peanut butter, cake batter, and oatmeal. Non-food items like lotion, see lotion play, paint, oil, mud, shaving foam, hair conditioner, soap, and slime are also widely used. So it's funny that Foodie's talking about like splashing yourself in the face with a pie. And you guys can see how that can fit right in with the feedie fetish, right? Because like if her deal is food, and if she can combine splooshing with the food for the feedies, that just opens up a whole new audience to her, and that's why she's doing it. That's exactly why. So let's keep going. I just want to give you guys more information about the splooshing thing. Let's see. I think we're done here. I think we're all caught up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Twitter peep react. Chantal's live stream. Oh my God, I don't even want to touch it. 6 hours of what? But I'll take a look at it and see what's going on. But I do have to work later. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.